I think Jesus would say to Woods Chapel, it's good to be the church. It is good to gather. We continue to grow, and as we gather here and worship, and it's good to learn here. It's good to feel at home here. But I want you to go out there. I think he would say that, out there. I want you to go out there. I want to remind you what's out there. Somewhere out there, there's a little 5-year-old boy who doesn't know right now that plans are being made by a church that he knows nothing about to create a passionate, wonderful, experiential vacation Bible school that's going to change the direction of his life. He doesn't know it yet. But he's going to learn some songs that will work their way into his mind and heart and change who he is. He's going to learn stories of Jesus that will just explode his imagination. And his team leader will become somebody that expresses love to him in a way he's never really known that. And in the process, his parents are going to, they don't even know it yet, but they're going to find a faith awakening that they never knew could happen. Somewhere out there is an elderly woman who lives alone. Her family moved away a long time ago, and she feels completely forgotten. I mean, her whole world has shrunk down to her apartment, her weekly trips to the grocery store, her almost weekly trips to the doctor. That's about her whole life. Her TV has become her best and only friend. She doesn't know it, but right now there are a group of Christians at a church that are saying, we've got to reach some people that might be in her position. She doesn't know it right now, but she's going to be invited to a weekly lunch, and she's going to be invited to take part in a service project through that group where she's going to be using long-forgotten skills. She's going to be making baby blankets. They're going to wrap medical supplies for Nicaragua, and she's going to feel a sense of belonging that she hasn't had in years, and she's going to feel a sense of purpose that she didn't know that she could possibly have somewhere out there. Somewhere out there's a young couple that's stressed to the absolute breaking point with personal debt. Fear has just squeezed the life out of the relationship. Instead of intimacy and joy, there's blame and there is shame. That's what they've got. Their marriage is on the rocks because of their personal debt. Little do they know that a colleague is praying about them right now, praying for the right words to say to invite them to a budgeting class at their church, a financial peace university. Little do they know that the restoration of their marriage and restoration of hope and an encounter with the living God is going to happen as they walk through the doors of a church to fix their finances of all things. Somewhere out there's a same-sex couple that thinks that God hates them because they love one another. Little do they know that their neighbor is going to host a front yard barbecue. And at that barbecue, they're going to get an invitation, and they're going to meet some people. And little do they know that several months here in the spring that there's going to be an invitation for them to have an active faith in Jesus, and their lives will come alive in a way that they never knew possible. Somewhere out there is a teacher who thinks that nobody cares about the children she's given her life to serving. She works with kids that few others would choose to spend their time with. She has no idea that right now there are a bunch of people from a congregation she doesn't even know that have felt the call to go help her and let her know she is seen and loved, and so are those kids. Little does she know that group of Christians is going to go and paint her classroom. Little does she know that those people are not just going to paint the classroom, they're going to be there to be tutors and read books and be lunch buddies. Little does she know that her faith is going to be renewed in that, along with a bunch of kids, all because somebody showed up and listened and did something. Somewhere out there is an idealistic young person who wants to change the world and who isn't even thinking about church, isn't even mostly kind of thinking anti-church thoughts. She doesn't know it, but right now, a congregation that a friend attends is planning a service project, and in a few months, she's going to be invited to take part in that service project, and it is going to change the entire outcome of her life. It's going to change the direction of her career. She's going to have a spiritual awakening for the first time. And she'll walk a path for the rest of her life that will draw her close to the God who created her. Somewhere out there, in a neighborhood right around you, is a person that God plans to use you to reach. Somewhere out there is a person that God will use to change your life as you reach that person. Somewhere out there is a person that Jesus died for. Somewhere out there is somebody who's thinking that death wins, that darkness wins, that that's all there is, that hopelessness prevails, that everything is meaningless. But we say, no, 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 no. We hear Jesus sending us to people to live out the greatest mission in the universe. We hear Jesus sending us out to proclaim that death does not get the last word, that darkness does not prevail, that this destruction cannot win. We proclaim with the power of the living God, the resurrected Jesus, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, that life wins every single time.